No worries.
We're live now. So, welcome everybody. Welcome. But we're
Yes.
live. I'm peeling now. Like my skin is peeling
From what? The sun?
from the sun. Yeah. I got a real bad on my shoulder. The shoulder is peeling.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my boobs peeling right on top. My
Yeah.
arm is peeling.
Yeah. We just wrote an article on sunscreen for Black people
I
because
need to get that.
we have a notion that we don't need to protect our skin, and we
I know,
do.
right?
You
Listen,
can
I
get
was having
sunburn.
Yeah. But I think the sunscreen that I have, it just wasn't doing anything for me.
hmm
So I probably need a stronger one. I don't know.
Black Girl Sunscreen is an amazing brand because it's made for you melanin skin. Get you Black Girl Sunscreen, and it's Black owned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
has
need
the
to get me
extra
a
moisture
booster.
factor, and get you some of that.
Yeah, because I need that right now. And
hmm
definitely this peeling business, I don't like it. Because today I
Yeah.
tried to so I walked to Box Park
Oh,
and
wow.
I pulled up my sleeve and I just saw this flake thing. I'm like, wait, you got dandruff? But then when I checked my arm, I was like, no, I'm flaking cover.
Girl, get you some sunscreen.
I was like, not
Get you
having
some
it. No.
sunscreen.
Good night, Miss Allison. Good night. Okay, so now I'm just like, but the thing is, I was soaking in it. I had Casey like rubbing it on me, like I was soaking in the sunscreen. I still got burnt.
Yeah, you can still get burned. You can get burned even if the sun's not out as well. So sometimes when it's that gloomy weather but it's hot,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the worst because it's like the hidden sun. So you're out
Gee.
in it and you still can get sunburn.
Yeah, I don't like that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I need to get me that black girl sunscreen.
Yes,
But that's
ma'am.
gonna work. Oh, somebody that already asked a question. But
Yeah.
Shirley, I'm gonna start the show because we are 2 minutes in. So you guys know I already do my intro. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let the show begin. I just do a little intro, which is gonna be like a minute long or so. So guys, go get your tea, go get your stuff, because we're about to start. All right, see you back in a minute, deal.
All right.
Thank you to our sponsors, Fort Fightins, Funky Fat Cosmetics, Sincerely Her Story, Bella Dynamite Accessories, Ebenezer Real Estate Services Limited, and Utopia Natural Face and Body. For more information about our sponsors, check our Facebook and Instagram at Sincerely Her Story. This is a live streaming of A Fresh Twist Co. with JC and Friends Season 4.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
All
Welcome to
right.
another episode of A Fresh Twist. Oh my God, I get so excited now. Oh,
I'm
so far,
excited.
I know. Right? So far, for new listeners that's tuning in, I just want to let you guys know that this podcast is owned and created by Sincerely His Story. So if you do see Sincerely His Stories attached to it, that's why it is owned by Sincerely His Story. What is Sincerely Her Story? Sincerely Her Story is a platform where we share our insights and experiences in a relatable and honest and informative way. So we talk about you understand self-love and healing and habits through triumphs and challenges, and we give real life solutions, for today's woman. So that's what this platform is all about. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for just being a part of this beautiful session tonight. Guys, I am very, very happy, very, very happy because today I have one of my favorite people in London, my American London.
Yes. American London.
I know, right? Dior Davenport. So, welcome, Dior. Just
Thank
give us a little intro
you.
about yourself. Even I know, but
Absolutely. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me. So happy to be on tonight. My name is Dior Davenport, and I am one of the co owners of Shador Studio that was based in Seattle and now will be based in London here soon and Raleigh. It is an aesthetic studio. I have 12 years of experience as a beauty educator, an esthetician, and a permanent makeup artist and educator. So I specialize in eumelanin skin, so all skin full of melanin, and I'm super excited to talk to everyone tonight.
yay. And guys, she is my lash tech. But I tell you, she is the
No, not
bomb, the
tech,
bomb.
artist. I am
Well,
your last artist.
see, she's my lash artist. See? Listen, when I tell you she got me hooked, I never did my lash before. Never until Dior did my lashes, and now I'm addicted. I am.
That is true. That is
How
true.
I
And
be
she
when I
wears
get
them
my
well.
lashes? I be like, ain't
She
nobody
goes,
tell
ain't
me
nobody
nothing.
tell me nothing. My husband ain't telling me nothing today. I
I
don't care what
know,
he
right?
say.
Exactly, because it's so good. It's so good. And it just enhances the beauty. And that's, I love that. I love that. I didn't even know what I was missing all this time. So today, we're going to be talking about beauty, well, skincare, and you're going to get some beauty tips today. Very effective, informative beauty tips. So I saw somebody give a first, the first question we have tonight is what are the best sunscreens?
Yeah, so any sunscreen that has like SPF 30 is going to be good for you. One brand that I do love is Black Girl Sunscreen. I just love the platform that they
Hmm.
are on. I love that they specialize in melanin rich skin. I mean, it has not just the protection, but the extra layer of moisture because we don't like to look ashy. So
Yep.
that's one of my favorite brands.
So for somebody who's in the Caribbean, especially, would you also advise that? Because it is hot. It is HOT in the Caribbean.
Absolutely. SPF 30 is good. Anything SPF 30 plus, start off with that and then see, but you don't need to, slab on more just because you're in a hotter climate. Just long SPF 30 is like the recommendation. You live
Nice.
in Florida. Yes, Florida is very humid and hot. Um,
Yeah,
that good old Florida weather. I'm jealous.
I know, right? I know, me too. So why is skincare so necessary? Why is that something we need to kind of like add into our daily routines?
Absolutely. Skincare to me, especially being an esthetician, is like, brushing your teeth. It's super important. You're taking care of your skin. You're getting rid of, dirt and oil and
Hmm.
debris. And it's going to help you to prevent acne and wrinkles and anything that ages your skin. And it what makes our skin look, supple and glows. So skincare is super important and you should incorporate it into all your daily routines, just as if you brush your teeth in the morning, you should be washing
Yep.
your face.
But how can one know like when to like how to create their skin regime, like their skincare regime? How do they know how to do that?
Go see an esthetician. This is probably the biggest question. Everybody wants to know how to do it themselves, which is
Mhm.
fine, but that's what estheticians are for. An esthetician is going to do a skincare analysis on your skin. They're going to be able to determine what kind of skin type you have and recommend the best products for your skin. And then
Mhm.
after you see an esthetician, you're going to be able to continue to, do your at-home care, but you should be going to see your esthetician at least monthly for your facials and your skincare regimen.
Hmm.
And it's good pampering session, so it's
I
another
know,
reason to
right?
pamper yourself.
How many people fell asleep in your on your bed?
All of them for when you do anything skincare based, they all fall asleep. And if they don't fall asleep, we got a problem. Because if you're talking during a facial, something's wrong. You drank too much coffee.
Oh my god. So guys, you heard that. Go check your esthetician and get your little pampering session on. Something that I think a lot of us have this misconception about because especially when you deal with acne. I hate to use the word suffer, but it's when you deal with acne on a daily basis and you have scarring from that. Hyperpigmentation. A lot
Mhm.
of people don't know what it is or they don't have the understanding of that. Can you break that down for us?
Absolutely. So, hyperpigmentation is a result of overproduction of melanin in your skin. And it's an
Mm.
overproduction typically from an injury. So, injuries such as you picking your pimple, scratching, getting burnt, anything that darkens the skin. So, the overproduction of melanin is why it gets darker in the area, in the injured area. Some people have a predisposition for increased melanin production, but
Mm.
typically, when you see hyperpigmentation like on your face, it's because of an injury. And we think that most of us are picking our face, popping
Yep.
pimples, doing things like that, which
Hmm.
leads to not necessarily scarring, but leads to the dark spots on our face.
So how is it that somebody could probably eliminate that besides picking on it or stop picking on it? How would they be able
Well,
to
that's
eliminate
hard. And, I'm a self-proclaimed, I can't help it. I'm an esthetician. We love to pop stuff. I
it?
like
Yep.
Dr. Pimple Popper, anything like that. I love. But you have to make sure that you're doing it properly. So an esthetician is going to do an extraction properly versus you
Hmm.
popping it at home, right? But if you are, we all going to suffer from some form of hyperpigmentation at some
Yeah.
point. So the best things you can do is just making sure that you're keeping up with your daily regimen, make sure you're exfoliating your skin. That's going to do a lot. Doing chemical peels by, going to
Mm.
see your esthetician, not at home unless you need, something very, very light. You can do at home very light peels. There's
Yeah.
also creams or microdermabrasion and things like that. I am not a fan of microdermabrasion for melanin rich skin just because it can lead to meet more hyperpigmentation if done
Oh,
incorrectly.
why is
So
that? If you don't ask
because
me.
you're resurfacing the skin, and if the
Uh,
person is not doing it correctly, it could injure the skin and then it can make the overproduction of melanin in that area. So
oh.
yeah, so you just want to make sure that you're somebody who knows how to do it properly. So there are certain creams you could put on the area, but you
Mhm.
just want to make sure that you're concentrating the area and not putting it on your entire skin. So there's many things you can do to get rid of the hyperpigmentation. There's also IPL, the laser therapy, laser pills, things like that if you have severe hyperpigmentation.
Okay. Well, I'm learning something here tonight. So as far as exfoliating the skin, let's say like a person like me, I have very oily skin. How often should I exfoliate?
So you should be exfoliating your skin. Everybody should be exfoliating their skin at least 2 to 3 times per week. And when I say exfoliation, sometimes people think that means scrubbing the skin.
Yeah.
Exfoliation is not just scrubbing. There is also chemical exfoliants that you can use. So your exfoliation can be a scrub, it can be a
Mm.
mask, it could be a chemical peel or like a serum that has acid in it specifically for that. Those are all forms of exfoliation. So the
Oh.
most basic form of exfoliation is a scrub. Now, one thing you want to be careful of is a lot of the scrubs in the drugstores have seashells in their products, and those seashells or these little micro shells that they use. And what it does is it creates little tiny cuts in your skin when you're exfoliating it,
Yes.
and it can lead to more hyperpigmentation. So you want to be
Oh.
super, super cautious of the product that you're using. And it doesn't necessarily mean expending on an expensive product, but you want to make sure that you're very cautious and read the ingredients on your product.
That makes so much sense because I remember I used to try like different things for my face and then it would just be bruised like and I'd be like, why is my face bruised? And I would think it's probably a different product I'm using that's just irritating my skin. And then I will literally have like small cuts on my face and
Hmm.
I would never think it was the scrub.
Yeah, there's the St. Ives is one brand. I don't know if they still
I
use
used
it.
to use that one.
Uh-huh. And that one used to have seashells as part of their shells they used to put in there as
Oh,
part of the
wow.
ingredient ground up. And it used to just scrape everybody's skin was messed up from that.
Yeah, because
If
you
it's
have the
melanin
little
rich.
fine cuts and you'll be like, wait, is this thing burning? You would think it's a different product that's literally like burning your face,
Exactly. So
but
my
not
firmest
knowing.
form of you can do a very light scrub. Lots of the scrubs have the little foam beads, which is great. So they dissolve.
Mhm.
Those are great for like your daily exfoliants. Chemical peels are my favorite for melanin rich skin,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to microdermabrasion, just because of it's not resurfacing the skin, but you're able to have that good peel and it gets rid of a
Yeah.
lot of hyperpigmentation. You just want to be very cautious that you're going to someone who knows how to do proper chemical peels to prevent any, scarring or damage to the skin.
Okay. So what about like salt scrubs and the sugar scrubs that people use on your face? Is that something safe to use as well as an exfoliant?
Yeah, you can use salt and sugar. I mean, anything that dissolves, you just don't want to use that 2 to 3 times a week. You don't need that much exfoliating as far as, we think exfoliate, we need to just get in there and
Yeah,
just
and just
rub
like
our
scrub off the
skin.
skin.
So sometimes you may want to combine that with a mask, and it's
Mm,
getting the impurities out with the mask. That's also exfoliating your skin. So maybe you do a scrub, maybe the next day you do a nice mask on the skin to get some of those impurities out. So just do
okay.
a combination
And see how it works for that
and see
particular
how it works
person's
for you.
skin.
Yeah, everyone's skin is different, and you're gonna have a different skincare regimen for your skin.
Yeah.
So you got to see what works for you. The only thing that is like be cautious of is don't keep trying different things and buying all these different products. If you find something that works, stick with
Hmm.
that, and there's no need to change it. Less is more when it comes to skincare.
Nice. What is or what would you say is a product that everyone should have in their daily skin routine, in their
You got
skincare routine?
You gotta have moisturizer. Like you
Ooh.
have to moisturize. I mean, have a moisturizer. That's what's gonna keep your skin soft, hydrated, looking bright, supple. Now, this
Mhm.
is in combination with other things, but you
Mhm.
definitely need a moisturizer, and typically a water-based moisturizer so it can actually go in the pores
Yeah.
um, and penetrate into the skin. And that's what's gonna
Not a
keep.
skin lotion, right?
Not skin lotion. You want an actual moisturizer that's made for skin and that can actually penetrate and hydrate your skin.
Okay. All right. Because, some people might just think, hey, if I just slap on this cocoa butter, because it's cocoa butter, I could just put
Ooh.
it on my face.
Vaseline, cocoa
Yeah.
butter, just clogging the
Dior,
skin.
we used to like, especially in the wintertime, we think that the best thing for us to do is to rub some Vaseline on our face and we'd be shining all day.
Ooh, that's what my grandmama used to do and just rub it all over before you go
Yeah.
to church.
Looking wet.
Looking shiny. Looking wet. Go, yeah,
Is
all
that
those things
bad?
like that.
Is that something bad for your face? Like putting on
You
the body lotion and the Vaseline?
You just want to be careful of anything that's clogging your pores. So think about that. If you have Vaseline and you're constantly putting that on your face, it's clogging your pores. What's that going to lead to? Blackheads. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
lead to it getting clogged, and that's going to lead to more, pimples and, acne happening and breakouts. So you just want to prevent your skin from being clogged, and things like Vaseline is the fastest way for you to clog your
Dog
skin.
skin. Hmm. Especially for someone who has oily skin and large pores. It's
Exactly.
probably gonna just make the situation
The
worse.
last thing you want to do is be slapping Vaseline or anything oil based on your face if you have oily skin.
Someone has a question. What over-the-counter product is good for diminishing hyperpigmentation?
Yeah, so one of my favorite brands that I use that is affordable and actually works like the most expensive brands is the
Mhm.
Ordinary brand.
Ooh.
Ordinary is amazing. There is super affordable, but the quality of it is the same as brands that sell for $50 to $100 per, thing. And they have so many products on there that are great, and they have so many different
Mhm.
products for hyperpigmentation. They have this one, it's called the blood mask that you put
I
on. It's a
have
peel,
that.
that peel and it's amazing, and it's great for brightening the skin and getting rid of
Mhm.
hyperpigmentation. And it's a safe peel that you can do at home. 10 minutes is the longest you want to keep it on your skin. But it's the safest way that you can do a chemical peel at home without
Yeah.
harming your skin. And it's a great way for diminishing hyperpigmentation.
Yeah, guys, if you want to know what the ordinary products look like, I actually did a video, I think a couple days ago on the Instagram page, I Sincerely Her Story, just checking the story of skincare. you'll be able to see what the products look like, because I do buy them myself. And I must say, they have made a difference in my life because of Dior.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
she did
ordinary.
tell
Yes,
me about the
and
ordinary
Shirley,
product.
turmeric is great. Turmeric is great for brightening the skins. A lot of people
Mm.
use turmeric scrubs for under their arms, for
Yeah,
the darkening under their arms as well. So that's awesome.
yeah,
Hmm.
that is nice. One thing I do want to talk about, I want to ask a personal question first. Um, what
Okay.
is the meaning of beauty to you?
Wow. What is the meaning of beauty to me? Let me think. So when I was in my 20s, I was dating someone, and I remember that was the first time that person said, looked at me one day and just said, "Dior, you're so beautiful." And I
Mm,
remember the impact that it had on me because I had never
wow,
heard, I heard, cute or pretty. I never heard the word beautiful.
beautiful.
And that was such a memorable experience in my life because for me, it was like it was beyond my surface and what I looked like. It was like he
Mhm.
saw my soul and my character. So like for me, when I think of like being beautiful, I think of my character. I think of who I am as a person to other people and who they see and who I am, like how I show up in the world as my
Mhm.
authentic self. Like to me, that's beautiful. And I feel the most beautiful when I'm like in my own skin and feeling confident. And when I just treat my body good, like when I'm eating good
Yeah.
and drinking good and and feeding myself mentally, physically, and spiritually,
Yep.
like I feel like that's when I feel the most beautiful. So to me, beauty is a huge to me a big part of my character, like
Wow.
that's what and who I am, like that's beauty, like someone when I look at people and I can see like the beauty in their character and who they
Yeah.
are and what they do, that's beauty to me.
And trust me, she is exactly that. She is
Aw.
beautiful. No, you are.
You
I'm
are
so
beautiful.
serious. You definitely are. The reason why I asked that is because I know you're into micro pigmentation,
Yes.
and that's permanent makeup which enhance beauty.
Yes.
So I asked that question because, some people are, they struggle with beauty. They struggle with feeling beautiful, and they go to do different procedures and all these different stuff to try to enhance it. But I think with having the enhancement of those beauty, people have the negative aspect of it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Botox. Why you want to get Botox? You blowing up your face, blah blah blah. So I just want to dive into that aspect of the permanent beauty. What is micropigmentation?
Absolutely. So, micropigmentation is a form of permanent makeup. It's one of the things that I specialize in and I love. And like, I'm a person where if you want to get something done and that makes you happy, I'm all for it. Because
Hmm.
I think we always see the negative side of like the bad
Exactly.
jobs being done. But my sister gets Botox and you would never know, and she looks amazing. And I
Right.
see people who've had amazing, cosmetic surgeries and they look great. They're not the over the top things. So I feel like when things are done right, if that gives you confidence and yourself, then all for it. I'm not judging anybody. But permanent makeup, I think, is one of my favorite things because it's more than just, yeah, of course, I have it. For me, I have my brows done. It's great. I can wake
Yeah.
up in the morning and save 35 minutes on my face because I don't have to do it. But it goes beyond that. There's other permanent makeup services like people who are suffering, who are cancer survivors and who have lost their eyebrows, or people who are breast cancer survivors and were able to, tattoo hyperrealism
Yeah.
nipples on, and people who are suffering with hair loss and you're able
Mm.
to get SMP. There's so many great advantages of micropigmentation and permanent makeup beyond just the typical cosmetic aspect of it. There's a lot of
Mm.
paramedical work going on that's amazing in the industry. So I specialize in eyebrows, lips, eyeliner, paramedical, those things. And so it's something that I love to do. It gives people confidence
Yeah.
and it saves time. I mean, I just did my partner's mom's eyebrows. She's, in her 60s. And she just told me today that I save 25 minutes in the morning. I don't have to draw
Oh,
my
wow.
eyebrows anymore. You know what I mean? So it's big, and it's a very rewarding industry, being in the beauty
Mhm.
industry, because it's a lot of times it's not just the service I'm doing, but it's the
Yeah,
connections that you're making with people.
people,
Sometimes my clients come in and they have a horrible day, and something as simple as getting their lashes done just gives them a boost of just confidence, and
confidence.
just make it feels good, when you do something
Yeah.
for yourself. So
Listen, I know because I know how it be as soon as you finish with my lashes.
you don't know how to act when I finish my Sean Sean don't know how to act. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to act.
But is there a specific type of person? Say, for instance, I have extreme sensitive skin, but I do want to get my eyebrows done. I want to get my eyebrows done so bad. How can I be qualified to get permanent makeup done on me?
So it just depends. There's lots of contraindications for permanent makeup. So if you have like a skin condition or a skin disease, if you're
Hmm.
pregnant or nursing, if you're taking any blood thinners, and that includes like retinoids or anything that is acne, prescription acne medicine that thins out your skin or thins
Yeah.
out your blood, anything like that, then you're not going to be a candidate for permanent makeup.
Hmm.
Um, so you just have to see, it's per person who comes in. So there are some things that will prevent you from getting it. Breastfeeding moms, things like that. So you just have to be, we have to be very careful on who we see. But I would say 90% of the time people are candidates. So
Mm,
you know it's a
that's
very
good.
popular industry.
I want to try it. I know you've been like, Sean, I can't wait for you to
You
get
let
your
me do
eyebrows.
brow lamination, and it's
I know. That leads to my next question. What about somebody asked, what about eyebrow tinting? What
Yeah,
about like
eyebrow
how
tinting
is
is the
that?
same thing. So conscious. So like, for example, if you have severely sensitive skin, the same thing.
Hmm.
Blood, if you're on blood thinners or things like that, you can't get eyebrow tint because it's a chemical reaction, and you can get chemical burn. It actually happened to my cousin when I first was at it. I freaked out, you guys.
Oh wow.
She didn't tell me that she was actually allergic to hair dye. You think somebody would say that.
Ye-
So it was a good learning story. It was a good learning lesson, because my consultation form went from a few questions to a few pages after that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
Because you
so
have to be really
you have
sure.
to be really sure. So we even ask people, are you allergic to nail polish? Because then you're not a candidate for eyelash extensions because of, the chemicals that they have. So there's so many questions now that you ask. So yes, for
Mm.
eyebrow tinting, there are some contraindications as well. Sensitive skin is not a good candidate for eyebrow tinting just because of the chemical.
All right. I have two questions that just popped up.
Yeah.
So the first one is some people have adverse reactions to Botox, derma fillers. Are they good alternatives to Botox?
You know what? It just depends. I'm not a dermatologist and a doctor, so you just have to see and just make sure that you're getting fillers by a doctor. I know
Mm,
here in the UK, anybody can administer fillers, whereas in the States, you have to be a nurse or a doctor. So, just be very careful what you're injecting in your body. You can have an adverse reaction just because of the product that is being used, so you
mm,
want to be very careful, and make sure you're going to someone who knows exactly what they're
what they're
doing. So
doing.
yeah, and knows, and you can research, you can ask questions, never
Yeah.
be afraid to ask questions. You can ask a doctor, what product do you use for Botox? And then you can do your own personal research on that product.
Exactly. I think a lot of us are actually scared to ask the doctors because we were like, okay, I don't know what it is, or you feel like you
Hmm.
don't have time to research certain things. And because you just want it, you don't really take the time to do the research and really find out what you're actually injecting into your body.
No, and asking questions will tell you a lot about who's seeing. I get asked 1,000 questions, and I'm
Mm,
able to answer them. If the person's not able to answer the question or gets frustrated or irritated, run,
wow.
get out. So they should be able to answer your question, so you feel
Because then that
comfortable.
person really don't care about you. They just care about the money that they're actually making.
Exactly. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that you go to someone who knows what they're doing.
Okay. Um, I have another question. What is the difference between permanent makeup and tattoos?
Ooh, great question. So permanent makeup and tattoos, so they're both permanent. The difference is in permanent makeup, the needle that we're using when we're using for machine work is smaller in diameter. So think of the
Mm.
size of an acupuncture needle. That's the size I work with as far as, and it's called a nano needle versus a size of like a Sharpie, right? Like
Right.
those are the extreme differences. Another difference is typically with permanent makeup, we're working on the first layer of the skin, the epidermis. With tattoos, you're going deeper into the dermis, so they last longer. We work on the top layer of the skin to prevent any blue, grayish tinting of the skin. And then also the techniques are different
Mm.
as far as, how it's being tattooed in the skin. You know, with you're doing brows, you're going to be doing, very strokes and very controlled movements. With tattoos, you're doing more curve designs and curves and things like that. So
So what
those are the
about
main
the
differences.
lips? If somebody is interested in doing the lips, like
Oh, I
it
love
is
doing
a
lips.
color tint, correct?
It's called lip blushing.
Lip
So,
blushing.
yeah, and it's very, very popular. It's one of my favorite services to do.
Mm.
And it is amazing. So, I had a client who wore lip stain for 20 years. She wore
Wow.
lip stain because she didn't like the color of her lips. And I
Mm.
did her lips, and I did in a very light, natural color. That's my favorite. My favorite type of lip blushing is when you stay in the natural colors, and it healed beautifully, and she
Wow.
wasn't stuck to her lip tint. She almost didn't want to throw it away because she was so used to putting it on. There's also now what's taking off in the industry is lip neutralization for dark lips, so hyperpigmented lips,
Mm.
um, which is taken off. It's a very advanced technique, but it's great for those who don't want to have the darkness on their lips, and you're able
Yeah.
to
That's that
neutralize
pigmentation
the
that
color.
happens here, right?
Yep.
The melanin
Mhm.
that happens on top. Okay.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's one of my favorite services to do, and it's becoming very popular.
That's I like my little dark. But guys, you see, there are different ways you can enhance your beauty. But
Yeah.
if you do want to feel like you have your little insecurities and stuff, it doesn't necessarily has to be Botox, but there are different things. Like you have the lashes, you have the eyebrows, even the lash. It makes a big difference. It can really do. It really enhances
It gives you confidence, and
confidence.
it saves time. Eyelash extensions sound really high maintenance. They do.
Yeah,
But in reality, they make you way more low maintenance because you're doing less. So for me, I have
exactly.
my brows permanent makeup, and I have lash extensions. So the only thing I do is put a little, little tinted
Foundation.
moisturizer on, foundation, a little lip, and everyone's like, "Oh, I love your makeup," and I'm like, I didn't do as much, so it actually made me less high maintenance getting
But
lashes
more
and permanent
beautiful
makeup.
at the same time because
Hey.
it just enhances everything. I have another question for a woman. Is there an actual benefit for shaving your face? That's a good
Whew,
question.
so that's a great question. So when we talk about shaving, so let's say you have very tough hair, and this can be hormonal. So there's some women who have
Hmm.
hormonal hair and it's very tough hair. I do not recommend shaving because one, it's just going to make it worse. As in, you're going to be a lot of times when it's the hormonal hair, it's the follicles are bigger. And
Wow.
you're going to see the hair still in the skin, and you're not really extracting it properly. So for those that type of hair, I recommend sugaring, which I live by. I've been a sugarist for 10 years. I don't wax, I sugar all my clients. It's good because it
Mm.
leads to a 70% reduction in hair growth. It leads to lightening of the skin because it gets rid of 4 layers of dead skin. And if you get it at the first stage of hair growth, that's what starts to kill the follicle down. So it's great for that hormonal hair growth.
Mm.
Once it does get to a certain point, then you
Mhm.
would want to get something more permanent like laser. I have been on a laser journey for a year now, and I am obsessed. I went
Oh.
obsessed with laser. It's the best money I've spent this year, and it's such an investment. I've been sugaring, which is great. And then as I got older, more hormonal hair growing, I just
Mhm.
was like, I want it gone. And I invested in that. And I had to find a specific laser specific for melanin skin, which is called
Mhm.
I think it's the INAG laser. And you want to make sure that you have a technician that specializes in melanin skin, because laser can be very detrimental to melanin rich skin. And
Right.
it was the best thing. So as far as shaving your face, there is dermaplaning. So I consider that a form of shaving your face. If you go to an esthetician, that's great, but it gets rid of that vellus hair, that fuzz, the peach fuzz,
Mm-hmm.
and it also gets rid of, dead skin.
Mm.
And there's also some the the dermaplaning at home kits that you can get. They're like an automatic kit. I forgot the name of the brand, which is amazing and that I have. But it's great because it actually allows you to get rid of that dead skin. So if you have that vellus hair or the little, hairs that pop up, I recommend getting that. But as far as like taking a shaver out, the type that you shave
And
your legs
just
with,
shaving.
no, do not do that.
Since you're talking about waxing and stuff like that, for someone who has the strawberry legs,
hmm
is that a good way to go about removing strawberry legs? 'Cause-
So sugaring is could be good for that because it can lead to getting rid of some of that, that pigmentation and
yeah.
getting closing those follicles up. So that's why I love sugaring. Waxing too, if you get hard wax, and depending on who's waxing you, the reason why is when you're sugaring the skin, the reason why I love it more than waxing is sugar is the only form of hair removal that seeps down into the follicle and extracts it
Mhm.
from the root. Whereas
Mm.
waxing sometimes gets it from the root, sometimes doesn't. It's hit or miss. So I would recommend something for that. Sugaring would be good for that.
What about people who have like bikini hair growth, the ingrown hairs and stuff? Is sugaring also something
Oh,
you would recommend for
yes.
them?
Yes, yes, yes. I do a 15-minute Brazilian on my clients, and I teach a class called the 15-minute Brazilian, and I love it because in that same way that our underarms get dark, our bikini
Mhm.
line in the top, right closest to your vagina can get dark too. And so sugaring is great for that because it gets rid of that dead skin. And a
Mm.
lot of my clients love it because they start to see the color lightening in that area. And then there's also vajacials, people who I always
Ooh,
give a
the
nice.
vajacials.
Yes, I always give a nice mask and a little vajacial after, sugaring my clients. It's the same way, get the steamer out and it exfoliates the skin. It's the same steps that we would do on our skin. I do the same
Mm.
steps there, and that also helps to lighten up that area down there. And I always say to my clients, you've never had a real Brazilian until you've been
Until you
sugared.
had it. I could just imagine probably like really smooth and just
Oh, my clients be skipping around like they lost 10 pounds. All that hair gone.
Oh, I have a question. Somebody has a question here.
Yeah.
If after having a permanent makeup procedure, one decides to change it or remove it completely, how is this achieved?
Great question. There's several forms of removal for permanent makeup. There's laser, there's saline, there's other acids that you can use to remove permanent makeup.
Mm.
It still has to go through the healing process because remember, we were putting pigment into the skin. So typically the procedures are, it's not just one and done. You're going to have multiple
Multiple.
procedures done to remove the pigment. But that also depends on how deep it was implanted in your skin. If it was
Mm.
very surface and the artist worked, in that first layer of skin, then with one removal session, you're going to see a drastic result. If it was something extremely bad where it was deep in the skin and darker pigments were used, depending on the color, it's going to take a little bit more removal sessions. And with each removal session, you have to heal. So it's the same
Yeah.
healing process. So you're going to have to
Yes.
continuously heal before you move on to the next session.
So with the repetitive sessions, once you do one, because there will be numerous sessions you'll have to do until it's complete. What is that healing process like? Is it because when you see people go and they get their Botox done, you would think that they have to heal for weeks. They have to stay inside, stay out the sun. Is it like the same thing?
Yeah, so when you get your, let's say you get your eyebrows done, you're gonna go through. It takes 6 weeks for the skin to fully heal, and that fully means for the skin to regenerate itself and completely heal, and you see the color come through.
Mm.
But for the wound, because you are creating a wound, it's going to take
Yeah.
about 7 to 14 days, depending on the person, to completely heal. And that's from fresh brows to scabbing to falling off. If you have great skin, some people heal super quick in a week.
Wow.
Um, Depending on their skin, some people it takes the 10 days, some people take 2 weeks to heal. So it just depends on
Depends
your
on the
healing process.
person.
But depending on the service you get, it's really low key. Like nano
Mhm.
brows are also known as hair stroke brows.
Mhm.
It have a very low scab, so it's not noticeable. It just looks like your eyebrows are filled in. With powder brows, which is a brow that looks like eyebrow powder, it's a
Mhm.
little bit more. I would say you have a couple crazy days for powder brow because it's a
Oh
thicker
wow.
scab that forms.
Yeah.
Um, but after the scab goes off, the eyebrows are beautiful, and it's one of the most popular techniques out there. So when you get a permanent makeup service, it's not you walk out the chair and you're done. You do have to heal, so make sure that you do it in a time where you, in a few days, 6 days, have some downtime. I would say in the beginning you don't need it, but as it starts to peel off, if you're really self-conscious about it, most people aren't. They're like, look, I got my brows done. Deal
They
deal
don't
with these
care.
scabs for 2 days, and then they're, feeling great once they fall off. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, we had a struggle, and I'm gonna just get real personal here. We had a struggle with being in the UK as to finding the perfect nail tech or the perfect person that
Oof,
could do
Lord.
certain things for us. And in that process, with especially someone like me, you don't know the do's and the don'ts or what to look out for, especially that, like certain signs you see, like, no, I don't want to go here, or yes, I can go here. So can you give us just a little bit of things to look out for if someone is interested in finding a place to do these things? What are some things that they need to?
Absolutely. Yes. It was such a struggle. And luckily I have you to vent to with everything. And then with you, I'm like, you got me. Okay. I need to I'm teaching you how to do some stuff. So I don't have to go.
That is true.
I'm putting you in esthetician school. But yeah, the main thing to look out for, and when I became an esthetician, when you go to aesthetic school, you become a germaphobe, even times
Mm,
10, because you're learning about how, you can get certain viruses and how
mm,
bacterias are multiplied, and you're seeing them, and it's a lot. So you
yep.
become hyper focused on infection control, which is
Mm,
great because I'm a permanent makeup artist, right? I'm dealing with blood. So I
yeah.
have to, I touch everything, even when I do lashes. You see how I disinfect everything when I
Yep.
do your lashes, right? And the tweezers, everything. I
Everything.
treat it as if it was touching blood, no matter if it was or not. So the first thing I look for is um, infection control. Are
Mm,
they are they using barbicide? Barbicide's that blue, when you go in a barber shop and you see that little blue cup, that
yep.
is barbicide. That's great. When you see those scissors in there, high five. That's a great place to be because that is a hospital grade disinfectant that kills everything in. Depending on cavicide or barbicide, depending on the form, kills everything in 2 to 10 minutes, depending on if it's a wipe or if you're immersing it under. And so
Hmm.
that's the first thing I look for. How are they cleaning it? So when I go in a nail shop and I see that they're cutting somebody's skin off their toe and they just wiping it on a towel and putting it in a drawer, I'm praying to Jesus my toes don't fall off because that is not right. And because I was in school, when you're in aesthetic school, I was in school with hairstylists as well as nail artists. So we learned each other's infection control standards. I
Mm,
know that you need to, if you have plain bleach, it needs to sit for 10 minutes. And then if you have a hospital grade disinfectant, then you can turn over faster. And I would say about 90% of the time when it comes to nail shops, I never see hospital grade disinfectant.
wow.
I see either hot water or
Yep.
I see, store bought things. And so don't be afraid to, ask. I ask them, bleach is cheap. They don't need to have a hospital. Can you just let that soak? 10 minutes will kill everything. Or
Yeah.
make sure going to a place that has those amazing covers where they're swapping out those plastic covers. The main thing is to look for is, are they disinfecting those tools? Those
Yep.
UV trays, those UV sterilizers is not a um, it's not a sterilizer that kills everything. Those are just heat sterilizers. So when you see them, people put the tools in there, unless they've been disinfected before, that's not doing anything. Unless
Mm-hmm.
it is an actual sterilizer, like at a when you go to the dental office.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
so
they
those are
have
the
like
things.
little things they put it in and that could sterilize it as well.
Yeah, but
With the
that's not
heat.
a full sterilization, unless the only time that's helpful, and you can use if you've cleaned it. The first step is cleaning it,
Yeah.
disinfecting it, and then you can
And
do that.
then sterilize it.
Yeah, so you have to go through those steps. So those are the things I look for. I look for, sanitation. I look for making sure that, they're clean. And then my biggest thing is customer service. Are you greeting me when I walk in? I'm a small business owner, and I take
Mm-hmm.
pride in all my clients. And I would be mortified if someone walked through my doors and I didn't, speak to them and greet them. So those are the things I look for.
That is amazing because I think a lot of times, especially in the Caribbean, this is another question that I want to pose, especially for people in the Caribbean. Sometimes they just learn a skill and they just come out, oh, I have a shop. But they never had the necessary training to become whatever skill it is that they're performing in other people. So is that something also to look out for, or anybody could just
Absolutely.
do lashes and just be like,
It
yeah, I
depends
learned
on
it.
where you're at, but for me, me and my sister have a training institute, and it's for that. My sister has a 20-year dental background, so her infection control is strong. Okay, so
Yeah.
she implemented that with me. So we teach our students that same thing, and it's even from lashes. We're still some. It changed in COVID, but we wear gloves and masks when we do lashes, and we've done that for
Mhm.
12 years. People look at us like we're crazy. The majority of lash artists don't wear gloves or masks. We always did, because we're touching someone's eye, and you can
Yeah.
transfer your skin cells. This little hand right here has skin cells, and no matter if I wash it, you can transfer that onto someone. So we were just always hyper focused on making sure we're taking care of our clients. But so training is super important. You want to make sure that it's not just depending on what it is, what type of training that they've have,
Yeah.
and make sure that they went to somewhere reputable that covers things like infection control. And
Yeah.
you can see um, how they're cleaning up or turning over the station from you being on that bed to someone else coming on there. You'll start to see things that stand out if it's not good.
Or um, so I have a question. Well, questions are popping up. So
Yeah, I see.
let me start with John first. Are there credentials that a person can look for or ask for when considering a practitioner? Are you in the UK? You are in the UK. What should a person look for? What about
Hmm.
the US or in TNT? Well, that's what I kind of asked for. That's what I kind of asked. So,
Hmm.
where can this information be found if you do not know about other countries?
Yeah, so in the states, it's based on state. So,
Yeah.
like for example, I was in Washington State. There's always the Department of either Health, Department of Licensing regulates different practices in each state, and you can go on their website and you can look up to see if someone's licensed. It's all public information.
Mm,
That's why they have to register. Even the states have to pay a small fee to even operate as a business. So you can look at that first,
yeah.
and make sure that they have a license. I know in Washington we're required to have we would have to have our license displayed with our picture on it and
Yep.
our name. So things like that you can look at. In the UK, it's not regulated in the sense of like in the states, agency regulates it, but it is highly recognized to have accredited training. So that's huge here. And what happens is
Yep.
the the insurance companies provide the accreditation, and so
Mhm.
you can't provide those services without insurance, and you can't get
Yep.
insurance without taking a class from an accredited school. So that's kind of how they regulate it in the UK. So you can also go
Mhm.
on their website to see, is your person
If you're
insured?
accredited.
Do they
Mm,
have insurance? If they do, then you know that they had to submit that credential for a accredited course that covers those things. So those are some of the ways that you can kind of do your own research.
no.
And don't you can ask. You can
Yeah,
say,
for real.
"Hey,"
And
or,
Google.
yeah, you can Google or just ask the person. So don't be afraid to ask them.
Next question is it common to get some form of contact dermatitis from getting your eyebrows done or threading done? Could it be a reaction from the cleanliness of the technician or the products being used?
It can be a combination of both. It shouldn't be common
Mm.
for there. You want to make sure that a lot of times it's the products. It's the tweezers not being cleaned. It can
Oh,
be the wax pot. That's the biggest thing. I see so many wax pots. One, they're not clean. Two, they're double, triple, quadruple dipping.
yep.
When you are entering a wax pot, it's one stick goes in, that's it, and it's tossed. And so
Oh,
when you're getting your
that's
eyebrows
how it's
waxed,
supposed to be done?
yes,
Mm, I am so sorry. I'm so accustomed with
Lord,
seeing them dig that they be dipping that stick. They will get a new
Lord, and
stick,
this is
but
when
they
your esthetician is about to faint, y'all. I'm about to fall out my chair. I can't breathe. My heart hurts. I can't. My chest is tight. Lord, no, no. So this is
what?
huge. This is a big reason why, and it makes me so upset because one, you can transfer bacteria. So let's say you got your eyebrows waxed. A lot of times when people get their eyebrows waxed, you see a little bit of blood, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
it's that contact bleeding. They're taking that same thing, putting it in a whole pot that's contaminated now. That is now contaminated, and they're using the same pot on everybody else. So yes, you can
Whoa.
get infections. You see people, their eyebrows get infections, get pus, break out, pass on viruses. You have to be super, super, super cautious. Wax is supposed to be used one time. Anytime when our school, if we ever seen a student like we don't care how much it costs, that whole pot's getting tossed out
Wow.
because it's so important to take care of your clients and your health. So if you see someone double dipping, do not get that service done. And as far as threading should be pretty standard because you're just using that string. So as long as they're cleaning the skin, you might have an adverse reaction as far as little bumps popping up just because of the
Yeah.
sensitivity and it's scratching the skin sometimes. And, you got to pull the skin tight and things like that. But just be very cautious with waxing.
Wow.
So yeah, waxing is one and done. So
Because I
when I
always
wax, I
the
have about
Chinese
50
do
sticks
it.
left after.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that, but when you go to the
when you
Asian
go
place,
to the nail when you go to the nail shop or something like
yeah,
that.
they just
So,
dip in.
well, what it is nail techs aren't. Well, I was saying Washington when I was based, in most states aren't taught, and they're not supposed to be doing waxing services unless they're also an esthetician. People don't know that.
Oh,
So a lot of times they're doing waxing services without an aesthetic license and they're not trained on how to remove hair. And so they're missing those steps like not double
wow.
dipping and they're providing the services. So that's what happens. Or they're just doing it. So yes, one stick is supposed to be used and tossed each time when you're seeing any form of waxing. That's another reason why I live
Mhm.
by sugaring. So, sugaring, when you sugar, you're using that same ball the entire time. So, it's super, super hygienic because what I use on you is what I use, and then I toss it
You
when
have
I'm
to
done.
throw it away.
I
Yeah.
grab what I grab, and that's it. And I don't have to keep going back in. So it's less product and it's also great for you as a client because you don't have to worry about that cross contamination.
Wow. I literally just learned something tonight with that.
Ooh,
I'm
you
gonna
almost
be
made me
watching
fall
them
out
all
my
the time
chair.
now.
Oh, and say something. It's really bad. It's bad, and it's not supposed to happen. It's literally not supposed to happen. People have
Oh
gotten
my
so
god.
the worst infections on their
Because of
eyebrows
that.
and their lips and everything because of that.
Whoa. All right. Well, that just threw me for a whole loop. I really have to like gather myself together now. Like, whoa, that is crazy. Because I'm so accustomed with them just, doing what they do. So now a little personal thing because it's almost time for us to be over.
No way.
I know, right? Um, what is your skincare routine?
My skin so I am less is more. So with my skincare routine. So I like to I wash my face twice a day, of course, like in the morning and night. So I'll do my cleanser, then I'll do
Mhm.
my toner, exfoliate, and then a moisturize. In the daytime, my moisturizer is going to change. I'm going to add SPF in that just for
Mhm.
protecting, even if it's not sunny, always have an SPF or using a tinted moisturizer that has SPF in it. And then in the night, I may use a thicker moisturizer or like a serum base. Serum is going to be something
Mm.
that's specific to your skin. So I like to do that. And then on the Sunday, I like to do my pamper day. I have my little blackhead little machine, little suction machine I like to get on my, oh, I love it. Whitehead. And I also have a facial massager.
Mhm.
You guys, this is the best thing ever. You would fall in love. So it has three settings, and it goes from cold to hot. And each setting
Ooh.
stimulates the collagen in your skin to help your skin be tighter. And all you got to do is sit on the couch, watch Netflix, and use your little skin massager, and it
And
works
it just
wonders.
goes.
Yeah, and it feels
Ooh.
amazing. So those are my things I do, and lots and lots and lots of water. Water is the biggest thing you can do for your skincare
Mhm.
regimen. Drinking it, not just washing your face.
Just watching it. That's pretty dope. You need to give me the link for that face stuff. That what is the name of the massager?
Oh, let me see real quick. I forgot the name of it.
But you can give it to me and I'll put it up there because Brill is asking what is it? What's the name of it?
Yeah, and you don't need to get like the expensive kind. You can get the one on like Amazon that
Mhm.
they have, but it doesn't need to be like the expensive one. But it does a world of wonders, and it's like getting a deep tissue massage on your face.
Oh my.
Yeah, I literally sit on the couch and just and Wayne thinks I'm crazy because I got this thing on my
Yeah, I definitely need that.
skin. You gotta get
Um,
one.
Brill also asks, can you DIY sugaring?
Yes, you can. You can
Oh.
DIY sugaring. So we actually have a project for our students in the class. We make them, they're like one of their final projects is they have to make their own sugar and then bring it to class and sugar each other. It's just a fun
Oh.
way for them to learn it. Now, it is very difficult to make. Once you master it though, you got it, but it's hard to make because it's like toffee, it's like really temperamental.
Yeah.
So I recommend just buying it. It's
Oh,
easier and
I need to
cheaper.
come to you and try that.
But you can totally make your own sugar. You just have to get the consistency down. Once you
Mhm.
get it down, though, you can totally make it. It's sugar, lemon, and water. So I always make my clients eat it. They don't believe it. It's three ingredients. And I always make them try it some on a stick so they can know that I'm using a pure,
Yeah.
product. And it tastes really good. So yes, you can. You can make it yourself.
Ooh. All right, so we need to make a plan so that I could just record all of this and just yeah, I need to
Oh
know how to
yeah, you
make
need to
that.
come get sugar.
I know. I know because I'm tired of shaving. I'm honestly tired of
I
shaving.
need to convert. I'm gonna convert you now. You know I keep
Yeah.
converting you. You're gonna stop that shaving. Once you get sugar, you'll never go back. It's the
Yeah,
best feeling.
I'm
I
going
love
once
sugar.
you say something that Sean, once you never go back, I never go back.
Yep, I
Never.
got you.
Someone has a question. Do you have to use the toner every day? That's a good question.
You should use the toner every day. It doesn't have to be. Lots of times we think of toner as like the alcohol based astringent
Mhm.
one. Like you don't. There's different toners. There's like gentle toners like rose water based toners, things like that. You can use those kind. It doesn't have to be something that's alcohol based because a lot of times that dries out your skin. And then
Yeah.
if you have skin like me, my skin changes. So sometimes I'm really dry, and then sometimes I'm oily, combination skin. So I can't
Mhm.
use a alcohol based toner all the time, or I look, dry and flaky. So it just depends on the type of toner that you're using. And then your skin type, just be cautious. So like, just really pay attention to your skin. Like when you're using a product, um, you know, you may only use it a few times a week, but typically, if you have a good toner, you're supposed to use it daily. You're supposed to cleanse, tone, moisturize.
All right. So you heard that, Mina? Well, not every day, but every day.
Yeah.
um, so we are coming to the end of this
Yeah.
podcast, and I would love for you to do one more thing for me.
Uh
Um,
oh.
Share some beauty tips. What is something that people could do just to feel good about themselves, to love the skin that they're in?
Yes.
What's
Oh,
some
so we
beauty tips you
we
can
have
share?
one more question. Does it have
Oh, one more
thick? It has to
question.
be thick. Sorry. It's a thick. It looks like honey, but it's the consistency of like a firm putty. So it's
Mm.
really thick, and you roll it on and you do a flicking motion to extract the hair. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm definitely gonna record this and show you guys. I'm gonna
yeah.
try to have Dior teach me how to do it, and I'll record every step of it so you guys can see
Yeah.
what it looks like if you want to do this
Yeah.
DIY.
Sorry. What was your
Yeah.
question again? Sorry, I had to answer. It's really quick.
Now, what is some beauty tips that you could share with people, to make them feel good, to be confident with themselves, to love themselves, What are some beauty tips you will share?
I think it's just like do things that make you feel good, like, getting up, maybe going for a walk, buying those extra product, like I said, like it makes me happy to sit on a Sunday. I do my own regimen. Sundays are my beauty days, right? Where I'm like
Mhm.
resetting, doing give yourself your own little facial. Don't be afraid to treat yourself. Go get massages. Think of facials and massages not as part of like, oh, I'm doing something special. Think of them as like your normal self-care.
Mm.
It's super important. Like massages are not just about it feeling good. It's about, making sure that you're flexible and that you can move and go
Yeah.
see a chiropractor, get adjustments. Like these are all things that we should be doing to take care of ourselves.
Mm.
And then it feels good. So those little things, or just the little things like I love, popping lip colors. So I go get me lots of little lip colors. I like to get my lashes done, keep my brows up. So it just depends on but I would say put self-care first. I think a lot of times um, we forget, especially as women, we forget we're always
Mhm.
taking care of other people. We forget to take care of ourselves, but you can't take care of nobody else unless you take care of yourself first.
That's
So
true.
yes, get that Chanel bag. If yes, get that Chanel, get that Dior,
Yeah.
get that whatever makes you feel beautiful. Yes, I say
Oh
do
my
it.
God.
And just really take care of yourself.
Tonight, dear, I have to say thank you so much for being a part of Sincerely Her Story, a fresh
Thank
twist.
you for
It was so
having me.
informative. I even learned so much tonight. I did. I didn't even know a lot of things, and I'm very, 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 very happy for the information that you just shared with us and even taking the time to come on the podcast and, share this time with me.
Oh, it was
I
so
feel so
fun.
special.
I thank you,
I know.
everybody. The chat was so good. Popping. Yes, I get up and dressed up. That's what I'm talking about, Shirley. Me
I
too.
know, right?
I love some glam, honey. I can get real ugly, but I can get real cute too. So
She's flexible, guys. She's flexible.
I can go either way.
And even
And when
like
I get off here, I'm gonna get real ugly.
and even having girls' night, like rounding up your friends and going to have a little drink together and just laughing and having fun. Those are
Yeah.
things you can also, help you be more confident in yourself and feel beautiful about yourself. Just being around
Mhm.
people who really appreciate you for being yourself, being your
And
authentic
lift
self.
you up. Yeah. Those
Yeah,
negative Nancy's can't are not invited. Be around people who
exactly.
really give you your flowers, and
And
support
that's why I
you.
have to say I appreciate you and Georgina so much because you guys just make it so easy to be friends with you guys.
Well, I
Like I love
appreciate
you
you. Who else
guys.
am I gonna vent to
I know,
here?
right?
To Americans in the UK. We don't know what to
I
do,
know.
y'all. We ain't even driving yet. We
I
don't
know.
know what to do. We lost all our independence. We can't
I know.
drive. We don't know
That is
which way
so
to
true.
look on when we cross the street.
Tonight, I do have to make a shout out tonight to to someone I know since I was a child, since I was a baby. Tonight, I definitely want to say happy birthday to Keisha. She is part of the
Oh, happy
Sincerely Her Story
birthday.
family. Happy birthday, beautiful. I wish you have a beautiful day. I know it's still early. It's just 8 o'clock your time right now. So have fun.
Oh, happy
Have fun. And we
birthday.
love you from the Sincerely Her Story family. All right, guys. So it is time.
All
If you
right.
guys have any questions, just feel free to still pop your questions in. I'm gonna see them. We could respond to them. But keep sending your questions, any concerns, anything you're interested in, or you want to know more
Follow
about it.
Shador. My business name is Shador
Yes,
Studio
Shador
London.
Studio London. I'm definitely gonna put it
And
in the
Shador
Facebook
Studio of
link.
Aesthetics. Both of them, please follow. We would
Yes, I'll
appreciate your
I'll put
support.
them in the Facebook on Facebook story. So you guys will be able to go find the link and just find out more. You can reach the Dior herself and you can ask her all the questions you want. When I tell you she's adorable, she's adorable.
And I actually will respond. I actually
Yes,
do
you do.
respond. Like if you ask a question in the DM, I got you.
Yes.
Oh,
So
you're
guys,
welcome.
thank you so much, Dior. Thank you so much for being so informative and so knowledgeable about this whole topic. It was a pleasure having you. So guys, good night
Night,
and see
y'all.
you next episode.
See
Bye
y'all. Thank
bye.
you.